What is up, everyone? Welcome back to Across the Board, sponsored by MoneyBall Metrics. You have your normal 3 Wednesday hosts. You have myself, Alpha Dog Bets, here with JD from Line Movers, as well as Jammer Bets. Fellas, it's Thanksgiving week. It's the day before Thanksgiving. We have 3 perfect NFL games. Well, maybe not perfect. That Giants-Cowboys game is going to be a fun one to talk about. We have 3 games midweek. It's Thanksgiving week, and I'm excited to dive in with the boys, breaking down all 3 games. JD, how are you today? We all know it was your birthday yesterday. Hope you enjoyed.
Yes, it was very good. Last day and night was actually like a great time. The picks, I did not have any birthday luck though there. The picks yesterday did not go that actually well. Had a couple tough beats. But yeah, other than that, it was a really good day.
Love to hear that. Glad you had a good birthday. Jammer, welcome back. Excited to have you on. How are you today?
I'm doing just fine. Super excited about that Rutgers win last night, though. I'm surprised you still got the energy. It was a late one for you.
People were messaging me about 2:30 in the morning saying, there's no way Alpha's awake, the old man. I was awake. Rutgers did it. Phenomenal game. And Jammer, the best news about it is Rutgers plays Alabama again tonight in between 10 and 10:30, so we get to do it all over again tonight. So I'm looking forward to that. Let's go over to the comments quickly before we get into what we always do here. Mr. Bowler, new name we haven't seen in the show, Best Sports Show. We appreciate you, sir. Joe is here as he is every day. What's up, Joe? Hot Toddy saying thoughts on Danny Dimes and the Vikings. Good for Danny Dimes. He's still a backup, but I think Coach O'Connell will do a good job with him. O'Connell's done a great job with Sam Darnold. I think that's why he went there. He's done a good job of guys who maybe lack a little confidence like a Sam Darnold did. So we'll see if Daniel Jones can get a little bit better there. And Aiden is saying Feast Week continues. Basketball, fire emoji. Yes, sir. We're here to make some money. It's a great week. Let's keep it rolling, fellas. We're going to go into a recap how we did on Tuesday. JD already said how he did, so I'm not going to force him to repeat that twice. I split on my best bets yesterday. Alabama was great for me. North Carolina was not great for me. So Tar Heel, if you're in the chat, thanks a lot, bro. You got to get your boys in line because they really should have played a better game. But Alabama did pull through for me. Jammer, how'd you do yesterday?
I didn't lose a bet last night, so.
Well, that's always a good day, right? Not losing a bet is the goal always, so fantastic to hear. Well, it's a little bit of a short recap today, but you guys ready to dive into what we do best and get into the slate?
Yes, sir.
Let's do it. We're moving into the NFL, and we're going to be breaking down for the first game today. The Bears taking on the Lions. The Bears are coming in 4-7 on the year. However, they have not won a road game yet. They are 0-4 on the road, taking on the Lions, who are 10-1 on the year, 4-1 at home. Over to the injury report. As I always do on the show, I break down the injuries before we get into the games. The Bears center, Ryan Bates, is a true questionable. Safety, Elijah Hicks, a true questionable. Those are the 2 big injury concerns for the Bears. On the Lions side, Taylor Decker, Khalif Raymond, David Montgomery, Amon-Ra St. Brown, and Carlton Davis, all true questionables. So, a few questions on the Lions side. We know who we're going to see on the Bears side. JD, let's start with you. What do you like in this game?
You know, last week, the Bears, man, that game just out of nowhere was like actually a really good game.
Yeah.
Nobody expected it.
Yeah, nobody did. The Vikings almost actually went down there. But still, within saying that, the Bears defense, that game could have been a very high-scoring game. They gave up a lot of yards. The Vikings, I actually don't have it right here in front of me, but actually they gave up close to 500 yards.
Yeah.
And actually, then in the red zone, I think they actually stopped them a few times there, and actually that's the only reason that score wasn't wildly high.
Yeah.
Just actually, like we keep saying it every single week, this Bears team currently is just not a team actually I can trust.
Yep.
And then the Lions, last week I thought the market had finally caught up. I really did. The Colts, I'm not a big Colts guy, but I actually did think that was a good spot for them. And sure enough, the Lions just kept doing what they always do.
Right.
And actually they covered that spread by quite a bit there.
Yep.
This is a spot where, as far as the number, when you're just looking at it, the Bears getting actually plus 10 just on the surface, does actually look good. But just like I just said, you cannot trust them, and they have a defense that you really can't trust going up against an offense that is just great.
A wagon, a
And
true
and
wagon.
and the Lions' run actually offense is just so good. They are the best in the league, maybe one of the best actually we've like ever seen here.
Yeah, they are.
And against this defense, I think they're going to be able to do what they seem to do every single game. And that's just put up points. As far as their team total over, I usually like to play that. I think it's 30.5 this week, and that's right there at that number where if actually this was a Sunday game, I would definitely be on that because it's a short week and it's an early game on the short week. Kind of has me hitting pause there. Tomorrow, I could end up being on actually that in some type of way, or actually maybe even a first half. Them actually going over it then. But actually, yeah, that actually short week so far kind of has me, like I said, just kind of hitting pause there a little bit. This is a game though where I just think the Lions, I mean, of course, are just going to do what they always do here. And I do have a play in this game, but it's going to be paired with another game, and actually, we're going to be talking about that one next. So,
all right, so more to come from JD. I'll go here next, gentlemen. I'm taking the over here. I think we saw a good preview of what the score may look like last week in this Minnesota Bears game that they had. The Bears can score. Their offense is getting better. I know they struggled and had a slump midseason, but they have been progressively getting better as the season goes along. They scored 19 points against Green Bay the week prior. They dropped 27 points last week against Minnesota, and the Bears offense is coming into this game healthy, which is a big thing for them. On the other side, JD put it perfectly. This Lions offensive line is probably the best offensive line we've seen the last 10 to 15 years. Penei Sewell is unbelievable anchoring that line, and they continue to create gaping holes in defenses that this running game has just been exploiting week after week. When that running game gets open, it opens up the play action, and Jared Goff's been able to take the ball deep. So I do think we're going to see a ton of points in this game. So give me the over. It's definitely going to be one of my favorite plays. I know it's early, and JD, I had a little bit of trepidation with that as well. You don't really like to bet high-scoring games early, but I do think we will see points in this game as it progresses, especially in the second half. If the Bears go down and they need Caleb to start bringing him back, we could see a couple turnovers, or we can see Caleb do what he did last week and have another big game. So give me the over. Definitely one of my favorite plays of the week. Jammer, what you got?
I mean, you both nailed it. Super excited to see what JD's pairing that Lions play with. Alpha. I do love the over, but I don't know about this Bears offense. I know you say that they're going lately, but this Lions defense hasn't a lot of touchdown the last 2 weeks. But for the Lions, man, 9 straight games winning, covering in 8 of those. Number 1 team against the spread this season. They have lost 7 straight Thanksgiving games, which is crazy. I mean, I know that they haven't been good in the past, but the past couple of years they've been pretty good. It's tough not to bet on the Lions in this one, man. But that 10.5 is tough. I am looking at the team total, JD. It is sitting at 29.5 on some books. A little juicy, minus 118 on DK. So I mean that could be an interesting one, but I do agree with you there on the short week. It might be a little bit tough and in the division. So I'm probably going to stay away from that. The direction that I was going to be heading here is the Lions minus 6.5 first half. They are the number 1 scoring team in the first half this season, averaging 20 points per game at home in the first half, which is just insane. I mean, some of the totals for some of these games in the first half is like 18, 19.5. So if they're putting up 20 on their own, and the Bears on the season have scored, I think it's like 19 points total in the first half in these 4 road games that they've had. I just don't see them keeping it within a touchdown here in the first half. So I'm going to be all over the Lions, minus 6.5. I was looking at Jared Goff over 1.5 passing touchdowns, but you both nailed it there. This running back tandem that they have is so dangerous, especially in the red zone.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's like you almost don't want to take the ball out of their hands. It's usually you don't want to take it out of the quarterback's hands, but these two guys, Knuckles and Sonic, they are quite the duo they got back there. So I think that this is just a little too much for the Bears to handle. I know that with the new offensive coordinator, Caleb Williams looked a little bit better. I think he's had like 250 plus passing yards in his last 2 games.
Yep.
Nailed it with the offense finally being healthy, having all 3 of those guys. They got weapons, but this Lions defense, man, like I thought earlier in the season we would see a little bit of a drop off with Aiden Hutchinson going down, because I know how it is with the Steelers minus TJ Watt, but man, they have filled in well. No touchdowns the last 2 weeks. That is just crazy to me, especially with how high scoring those games can be. So I'm going to be all over the Lions minus 6.5. See how the game goes. Might even throw some live bets in there on them, because these guys just seem to like want to run the score up on teams. So I'm loving them.
There we go. And Joe is riding with you. So we know when Joe rides on plays, these plays usually go well. Guys, tons of comments today. Keep the comments flowing. We're here to answer any questions you have. JD, what do you got?
Yeah, one other thing here with this Lions team, man, they're just so well coached.
Mhm.
And just like Dan Campbell just seems to be pressing all the buttons at just the right time.
He seems to do that every year now, right?
Like he's just, this year has been so good. Like, I mean, just when they decide like to go for it on like 4th down, like I forgot which actual game it was, but it was a few weeks ago. It was like 4th and goal, and they were on like the 6-yard line, and actually he still went for it. And like no other coach is actually going to do that, because it was like the game was like just getting going. And so I mean, yeah, he just, yeah, this actual team is just being coached just like so well. So yeah.
Yep, absolutely. So that's a great segue, fellas, to go into the next game we have, because we have 2 coaches that are not coaching very well at all, or 2 teams that are even playing well. So you guys know I hate talking about the Giants. I hate the Giants in 2024, but here we are. They had to put the New York Football Giants against the Dallas Cowboys on Thanksgiving, so we all can get nauseous right after eating our Thanksgiving meal. I'm super excited for this one. Let's break it down. New York Giants coming into the game 2-9, an absolute disaster, taking on the Dallas Cowboys, who are 4-7. Dallas is 0-5 at home, though, which is also an absolute disaster. Well, let's go to the quarterback play. Maybe we'll have a good quarterback game. It was just announced that Drew Lock will be starting for the New York Giants tomorrow. It looks like Tommy DeVito is hurt, and officially it is going to be Drew Lock for the New York Giants. On the other side, no Dak Prescott. We all know Cooper Rush and how he's done. So this is an interesting game. JD, we'll start with you. What do you like in the toilet bowl of Thanksgiving?
Yeah, just actually like you've said here on the show quite a few times, this Giants team, I mean, like they're like not even trying to win, right?
They're actively tanking on purpose.
Yeah. With that being said, and actually last week, I mean, yeah, we all saw that they looked horrible. The whole like team knows that, and you can tell by just the way they're out there playing. You can tell that some of the guys on that team are not out there giving it their actual all.
Yep.
And then on the other side last week, as far as the Cowboys, like you actually saw life there. You have some guys. They've actually had a lot of guys hurt, and those guys are starting to file back in now. And even though this season for them has been very rough, they are still out there fighting though. They're out there playing. And like I said, last week you saw a lot of life. Last week, as far as the run game, they finally got the run game going, and I think that's a very big deal. For actually them here. And actually, just like you said, the Cowboys, they are yet to actually win a home game. This is a home Thanksgiving game. They're going to be fired up. This team, like I said, they have not looked good this season. But if they can get this win, this will be their first home win of the season. And then actually they are a 5-7 team.
Yeah.
Which sounds kind of crazy, but I mean, bam, then they're just like right there again. To me, with everything involved here, this number on the Cowboys is actually pretty cheap. If you do the Lions, if you actually do the money line there, and then actually do the Cowboys, you can actually get that at an actual minus 119. And I'm all over that. That actually is going to be a VIP play. That is going to be a big play.
Yeah, I like that a lot. I think that's definitely going to cash. I'm taking a different angle on this game. Last week I came on this show, and when we went over best bets, I did briefly talk about the Bucs because they were my favorite play of the week. The Bucks were 5.5-point line last week. I came on here, said take the Bucks all the way up to 21 points, a crazy alt spread. That would have cashed. The Giants lost that game 30-7. And truthfully, that game should have been a 30-0 game. The Giants were never competitive or even in that game at all. And I think that's what we're going to see the rest of the year from this New York Football Giants team. I'm very convinced that in the bye week, the owner of the Giants, John Mara, the head coach, Brian Daboll, and the GM all got together and agreed the best thing for this team is to tank. We need to lose football games. They released Daniel Jones. A lot of the guys that you expect to have big performances, like Dexter Lawrence, had his lowest snap count of the year last week. He just wasn't in the game often. That tells you everything you need to know. This Giants team is not looking to win football games. And truthfully, does anybody think the Cowboys team are looking to win football games either? I mean, I know they win this game. They're 5-7, which they probably will, and they're somewhat back in the playoff race. But this team needs so much help as well. They need young players as well. They have no money to sign free agents. I think they also want a good draft pick for next year. I think it's written in the stars that Mike McCarthy will be fired after the season either way. So I think Dallas is trying to get ready for the future and maybe get a better draft pick. In this game, I'm taking the under. I know, shocking. I'm taking the under. I don't think either team is going to score that many points. Dallas should be the one who, if either team is going to put up some points in a decent fashion, it will be them. But I don't see the Giants being able to move the ball. And I really don't see Dallas taking deep shots with this Cooper Rush offense. They've been methodical with him. They need to move the ball slowly. They can't have him slinging the ball all over the field, or else he will turn the ball over. So for me, I'm definitely taking the under, which is probably my favorite bet on the entire Thanksgiving slate. It's not going to be fun. It's going to be a boring watch, but that's exactly what we're looking for when we're betting an under in an NFL game. Give me the under 37.5. Definitely my favorite bet of the day. Jammer, tell me how the over is the best angle you found on this game.
Honestly, I was looking at the over, but I don't have the balls to pull that one out. I think best bet here is to eat your Thanksgiving and take a little nap maybe right during this game, because this one will be a snooze fest, I believe.
So I'm doing the thing. I already could tell.
I know. I do have a play. For this.
Is it a prop, though? Is it a prop?
It is a prop, yes.
There we go.
I will not be taking the over. I was looking at the over as a possibility if maybe we see some turnovers, some short fields. Maybe CeeDee Lamb breaks off a couple, long ones. But we got some news.
Yeah, a lot of news. Giants starting left tackle Jermaine Illuminor will not be traveling. Tommy DeVito will not be traveling. Deonte Banks will not be playing, it looks like, as well. So the Giants' backup left tackle is in. Andrew Thomas already out for the year. The new left tackle, who already couldn't hold up, is out. Yeah, Giants' offense isn't scoring. They're not.
Guys, look, I'm telling y'all, what you just said, yes, the Cowboys season is not going well, like you said, and they may not want to win. This is a game that they want to win. I am sorry. Against this home crowd on actually Thanksgiving Day, they want this win probably actually more than any other game now because they just need that home win. So, yes, Cowboys everything here.
Yeah, I'm loving what you're pairing with the Lions there. I think those will be almost – it's tough to say automatic, but, I mean, Alpha said it. They don't want to win. Honestly, I don't really think either of these teams will win. They don't have a chance to win the division. But for me, I think the only play I can look at here is CeeDee Lamb. I'm loving his over 66.5 receiving yards. Cooper Rush has been slinging the thing the last couple of weeks. Was it close to 300 yards in both those two games? Do get him on a short week, though, at home. But the Giants do have quite the interior line there with Dexter Lawrence, Brian Burns, and Azeez Ojulari. Is that how we pronounce it, Alpha?
It is. He's out for the year, though.
Oh, he is. My bad. But now that we're seeing Dexter Lawrence not getting the snap counts, oh, man. So I was thinking that they were going to get maybe some pressure on Cooper Rush, and he was going to have to get some quick passes out to CeeDee Lamb, but I got it in my best bets today. I'm going to have to give it out again, so I'm going to go CeeDee Lamb over 66.5 rushing or receiving yards. Hopefully we don't have to see a blowout where the Cowboys are just running the ball and, putting everyone else to sleep. But Joe says the Cowboys still have some playoff hopes.
Yeah, they do. Very, very, very bleak, but they do. I mean, they don't want to make the playoffs. They're going to the playoffs. They're getting smacked by any team that they see at best in the second round. Maybe they can win a wild card game against a bad team. But does anybody think this Cowboys roster is good enough and this team is good enough to actually make a run this year?
No.
No, right?
Zero chance. No.
Yeah, no, I'm with you 100%. And I apologize about that, guys. Some reason these spam callers love to call in the middle of the show and throw off all the audio, but I am back. So I didn't hear who the bet was till just now. I do like the over there on CD Lamb, though. I do think that he will have a ton of yards. This Giants secondary is banged up. And even when they're healthy, they're the bottom 3 secondary in football anyway. So I agree with you. I do think that could definitely hit. Let's keep it moving, fellas. We got one game left to break down, which is going to be the Dolphins and the Packers. Dolphins are coming into this game 5-6. They're 2-3 on the road, taking on a Packers team that is 8-3. They are 4-2 at home. Coming into this game, the Packers had a monumental statement win. They were 3.5 to 6.5, depending on when you took the line favorites against San Fran. They won 38-10. They showed up and they had a massive performance. On the other side, Tua is starting to get it rolling. We saw that last week against the Patriots. He threw for 4 touchdowns, did not turn the ball over. He was fantastic. So in this game, it's the 8:30 kick. It's the late night Thanksgiving game. Jammer, we haven't started with you. What do you got?
Terrible news for Tua is that the weather is going to be like 20 degrees up there in Green Bay. And he is just not a cold weather quarterback. 1-6 in games under 50 degrees. And I'm going to have to say the only chance that they have is if those concussions just factory reset Tua into being a cold weather quarterback. He's just really struggled in these games. 11 INTs in those 7 games under 50 degrees. 11 picks in his last 12 games versus teams with a winning record. I just think he's going to struggle. And another thing to add on to that is they seem to forget how to run the ball.
Yeah.
First 10 games of the season. First 8 games of the season, they're averaging 133 yards per game. Last 3 games, they're averaging almost half that at just around 70 yards. So if they can't pass the ball in the cold weather, they can't get the run going against this Green Bay defense. It's going to be a long game for them. I'm loving the Packers at home. Here, I'm going to be taking Packers -3. I'm not going to be taking that 3.5. I'm going to take the push if we get it. I don't think it'll be that close unless they can get that offense moving. You know, you got to believe in Mike McDaniel and Tyreek and Jalen and who's the running back down there?
Achane?
Yeah, Devon Achane. But I just don't see it going. This Packers defense, I know JD likes to say they might be a little overrated, but they make plays, they make turnovers, and it's going to be tough to stop this Mike McDaniel offense with all the motions and crazy plays that they run. But if you can get them off their game plan, put up some points early, I think that this Packers team is just going to roll, especially at home in the cold weather where they're used to it. This Dolphins team, you like to back them at home, you know, whenever they got that home field advantage where the sun is just crushing the other team. They love that. They do not love 20 degrees, chance of flurries. So for me, it's Packers -3, and I'm also going to be throwing a little bit on Tua to throw an INT. I was looking last night; it was around 110. I'm sure that's going to be juicing up here soon, but I hopped on that one early. So Matt LaFleur, another thing, 25-5 at home versus opponents outside of the division. It's tough not to back this team here, so I'm all over them. Packers -3 is a best bet.
Well, everyone, forget everything you just heard because it is Dolphins plus the 3.5. I absolutely love them in this spot. I apologize, Jammer. But taking a look at how the Dolphins have done, and they've won 3 games in a row. They have not lost by more than 3.5 since the October 20th game against Indy, where Tyler Huntley was the quarterback. The only loss this year that they lost by more than 3.5 was the second week in a row, or the second week of the year against Buffalo, with Tua at the quarterback. All the other games they lost by more than 3.5. It was either Skylar Thompson or Snoot Huntley back there. It was not Tua behind the helm. So every game that he's been in, he has kept them close. I'm a big Tua guy right now. He looked fantastic last week. I will say I am a little worried about the weather. Jammer did make some great points about that. That's why this is not a max play for me. It's just a regular 1-unit bet. But I'm all over the Dolphins at the plus 3.5. I think they will be able to keep this one close. I'm not sure if they win, but if you guys are big sports gamblers, you do know that 3.5 is a key number. I love being on the plus side of a plus 3.5. We can lose the game by a field goal and still cover the spread. I'm not sure, like I said, if the Dolphins will win, but I'm very confident they will cover the spread. It's a 1-unit play for me and an official play for me. Give me the Fins plus the 3.5. JD, my brother, you got to tell me you're on my side here. What do you got?
Man, you actually both made a lot of good points there. To go back with what Jammer said first, I mean, yeah, you're going to hear about it from like everywhere. Tua and the cold, well, and actually not just him, but actually like the whole team.
Yeah.
And this game, well, actually, as far as this season, this is their first game that's actually going to be cold. And it's actually going to be really cold. I just think it's gonna be tough. I mean, Tua. I mean, like the numbers, all that, like Jammer just said, those are all real. So I mean, the sample size is kind of getting up there now, to where it's showing us where this is a real thing. But then actually, to what Alpha said, also, I mean, like they've been playing really good. Tua's been playing great.
Great.
If this was not this particular game on this certain day, the Dolphins I actually think would be the right side. But that's just with how cold it is actually going to be. I just cannot get actually on them. Just like Jeremy said, also the Packers, I'm actually looking to fade them, and
you love to,
yeah, and actually certain spots. Because at this point, I do think they're actually like overvalued still. I just don't think this is the right spot. And I don't have a straight up play on the side here, but this is what I'm going to do to have some fun. Take all three actually Thanksgiving Day games, and actually let's do a teaser here.
Okay.
Let's actually do a 10-point teaser. Get the Lions down. You can get them to base it down to actually 0. Take the Cowboys up to plus 6.5. And then actually do the same, and then actually the Packers do actually the same thing there.
Love it.
Interesting.
And actually on DraftKings, I actually know that you can get that 10-point teaser right now at a minus 120 line. So yeah, like I am going to be all over that too. So.
All right, I like it. Let's see what happens in that game. Question before we go into the rest of the show: we do have a couple specials to go over and our best bets. But our guy Hot Toddy asked if we think the Dolphins have a chance at the Yoffs. Hot Toddy, I love you out there, brother. You're here all the time. We are not going to start calling the playoffs the Yoffs. I'm sorry. As much as you want to say it, I will not call it the Yoffs. But in terms of the Dolphins making the playoffs, they're currently the first team out. They're the first team on the bubble. So this is a must-win game for them. If they win this game, the statistical odds of them making the playoffs goes to 36%. If they lose this game tomorrow, their statistical odds of making the playoffs go to 14%. So the season's on the line for the Dolphins here. This is absolutely their season. They need to win the game. And the analytics on if they can make the playoffs are kind of predicated on if they win this game. So that's the best way I'd put it. If they win this game, I think they do have a good chance to get in. If they lose, they're not getting in. So I think that's the best way I look at how this is going for your Yoffs. Do you guys agree or do you disagree?
Yeah, as far as the Yoffs here, I am actually going to say no. They are not going to.
Yeah. Jammer?
Their schedule isn't the worst to end the season, but you got to pass the Broncos and the Chargers. I don't know, man. They got the Jets twice. They got the Browns, the Niners, who, assuming they will be healthy by week 16, I believe that is.
We've been saying that all year, though. We've been saying that all year with this.
Yeah. I don't see them making the Yoffs. It's just a little too much. They've had the third easiest strength of schedule, and they're still outside of the Yoffs right now in the wild card. I just don't see it happen. It will take a miracle, and it would all have to start tomorrow night against this team. It's tough to say, but I think all three favorites might win on Thanksgiving.
They could. They really could. So if you like the teaser, that'll help you there. And I think that all three favorites may win. It's an interesting slate of Thanksgiving games, but fellas, we're still not done. There's a couple more things that we do on this show. And if you're a regular, you know what we're going to go into. So the first part of what we're going to talk about is going to be the Black Friday special, where you can get a 30-minute consulting session with Line Movers for just $50. For a half hour, you can learn his tips, his tricks. You can ask him any questions, and he will show you how he goes through and handicaps games. So if you guys are interested, we've seen a lot of people talking about how they can learn how to be a capper. People ask us questions all the time. Here's a great opportunity to learn from one of the best in the business. $50, whole half hour. You get to ask JD any questions that you want. Fellas, now there's one thing left that we do on this show, and y'all know what it is. Let's get into our best bets of Thanksgiving. Jammer, we're going to start with you. What do you got?
I got a 3-pack for the 3 games. Already kind of went over them. I'm loving that Lions first half -6.5. Number 1 first half team in the league, averaging 20 points per game in the first half at home. Bears have just severely struggled. We bring it up almost every single week. It just seems like they just got their balloon deflated on that Washington Commanders Hail Mary. It's just tough to see them on a short week. Coming to Detroit, one of the hardest places to play. One of the meanest teams, too. It's like almost intimidating looking at these guys and their head coach. So for a rookie quarterback on a short week on the road, I'm loving the Lions to just, get up early and just maybe even just absolutely smack them around. Cowboys, this is the game I'm not as confident in, but we still got it listed here. CeeDee Lamb over 66.5 receiving yards. Who knows? It could just take one big, long one. This Giants secondary is not the best in the league. Bottom of the barrel, some would say. Yep. So I'm loving him over 66.5 receiving yards. The last 2 weeks, he's had 18 receptions, totaling 160 yards. Seems to be Cooper Rush's little security blanket. So if he's under a little bit of pressure, he's probably going to be looking his way. So I'm loving those receiving yards. And the final one, just back in the Green Bay Packers in the cold weather against factory reset Tua. So I'm going to be on the Packers -3 buying that half point.
There we go. One play. Somebody just texted it to me, a friend of mine. So I'm not going to take credit for this, but I think it's a very sharp angle. You could take Micah Parsons over 0.25 sacks. So if he gets half a sack, you're going to cover. The Giants have no linemen playing tomorrow, and Micah Parsons has the most sacks against the Giants over any other team in the NFL. So the odds are -140 on DraftKings right now. -140 for Micah Parsons to get over a quarter of a sack. So if he splits a sack with someone, a 50-50 sack, which happens very regularly, that will cash. So just giving you guys that play. I can't take credit for it. A buddy of mine just sent it to me. But I think that's a very sharp angle, and I will be on that play 100%. I'll go over my best bets next. I gave my best bets. Basically, they are all the games that we went over today. I gave you guys the 3-pack of what we did. So my best bets are going to be the Lions game over 47.5. Giants, Cowboys under 37.5, and we are taking the Fins plus the 3.5. And guys, it's not my best bet, like I said, but I absolutely love this Micah Parsons over quarter of a sack at -140. I'm not going to take credit for it, but I do recommend taking that play. I'm going to be riding that one for probably 2 units. JD, star of the show, king of the courts, they call him in basketball. What do you got?
Yeah, for as far as best bets, here goes. For tomorrow, I really think you just need one play. Take the Lions, play them just to outright win, and then actually then take the Cowboys and actually play them to outright win. You parlay those, you get a -119, and I think you should play it big.
Love it. Love it. So let me put the graphic on the screen. Everyone get out your phones. You could take your screenshots. You could take whatever the hell you want. But here are the plays. You can see I'm on Bears Lions over 48.5, Giants Cowboys under 37.5, Fins plus 3.5. JD just gave you his Lions Cowboys MLP -119, and Jammer is on CD over Lions first half and Packers -3. JD, couple announcements from you regarding tomorrow.
Yeah, we started this show, Alpha, me and you, back. It was back during the summer,
Yep.
And it was just a baseball show then. And I really didn't know how the show was actually going to do, because I've never done a show. This is the first time. And I have to say, I didn't really expect much, and it has grown and grown and grown. So I am thankful to just actually everybody here. This has actually been a really good ride here, and this is just the actual start. We are about to start bringing y'all so much more. So yeah, this is going to be a lot of fun. But that end actually leading into this. Tomorrow is Thanksgiving Day. Tomorrow at 10, I definitely me, and I actually know the wife also. We're actually going to be on here live. We're going to be still breaking down tomorrow's games. So please actually show up, and we will talk about any games. And yeah, let's just tomorrow, let's just actually come on here. Let's just come on here and actually have some fun.
Let's have some fun. We always have some fun on here. And I want to also say I appreciate every single one of you. It's been an absolute blast on this ride. After JD says that, I can't come in here and say nothing. And I absolutely agree with everything he said. And guys, there's much more coming from us. Little teaser from JD there. I hope everybody out there has a Thanksgiving. If we don't get to see you, if you aren't there in the morning, some of us may not be on the show tomorrow. I just want to wish everybody a very happy Thanksgiving. I hope you spend some quality time with your families and have a fantastic full day of food and football. Jammer, I hope you have a great Thanksgiving, my friend. JD, I hope you have the best Thanksgiving, my friend. Jammer, any parting words before we get out of here?
You know, I kind of said it yesterday in that video to you, JD, but happy late birthday. And let's fucking win.
Let's fucking win. JD, he stole your line, but you got to give us something. Give the people something before we get out of here.
Well, yeah, let's just go ahead and talk about it now, I guess, then. Been told here for a bunch of reasons, apparently, I have to start making this a little bit more of a PG show.
My bad.
So, no, you're fine. But as far as ending the show, I couldn't just completely change it up, though. Yeah, we're just going to go with, let's just start saying, let's freaking win.
Let's fucking win. Let the producers get pissed as me. I don't give a shit. Let's fucking win. Everyone have a great Thanksgiving. We'll be back tomorrow.
See you.
Peace.